Greetings and salutations, my lovely little bitelings. My name is Wiggy, and allow me to preface this video by saying the following. With Bless Online releasing on Steam next year, I thought it would be in our best interest to go ahead and make a video expressing our views on whether or not Bless Online is worth investing time into upon its actual release. Bless Online has featured delay after delay after delay. It has had such a poor reception, with the Russian version of the game being shut down due to rushed and incomplete launch, the Korean version being dead with not really anyone playing it, and the official North American publisher pulling out. Made mention of a potential Western release in the future, without a Western publisher attached. It was strange news because that meant that Neowiz themselves would be publishing Bless in the West. A very bold move to make indeed. All of this being said, when Bless officially releases in 2018, can we expect the same rushed, incomplete version Russia received? Or has Neowiz learned from their mistakes? Judging from what we've seen thus far, Neowiz has provided a fair amount of changes since the last time we've played, both from the leveling experience and the gearing progression, along with some of the character creation differences. Combat from what we've seen hasn't changed too much. However, it is a lot faster than it was originally. But still, nevertheless, it's still got the same similar type of combat it had before, so if you had a problem with the combat before, you probably will still. Unless your problem was the speed, in which case it has been sped up. However, do note that neither Styx nor I ever had any trouble with the combat in Bless Online, quite the opposite actually. We both enjoyed the combat, as it's much more reminiscent to Blade & Soul than any other MMORPG we've played before. Now, with all of that out of the way, allow me to actually get on to whether or not I believe Bless Online is worth playing in 2017, or better yet 2018, since it will officially be released on Steam in 2018. So when looking for an MMORPG, there are a few things to take into consideration. Is the MMORPG graphically pleasing to me? Does the gameplay play well? Does the story interest me? I believe those three things are what make an MMORPG great, or not, or at the very least, worth trying. So let me break it down for you and let's see whether or not Bless is worth investing time into for you personally. Graphically, Bless is a little old. While it may be visible when you look at the texture quality or the character models, it isn't so old to be noticeable in comparison to today's MMORPGs. Yes, it may not look as fancy as Black Desert Online, but realistically, there really isn't an MMORPG in the West currently that does look as good as Black Desert. So discounting Black Desert, or more neglecting to take Black Desert Online as an actual viable comparison, Bless is actually quite a beautiful game. Bless is actually quite a beautiful game, filled with a much larger, grander fantasy setting than most MMORPGs released these days. This in turn makes for a nice change of pace. And the larger non-pay-to-play MMORPGs around at present are Blade & Soul, a martial arts themed MMORPG, and Black Desert, a much more grounded, realistic MMORPG. Adding into the fact that Bless is actually an open world-ish game, we spend time soaring through the skies on giant menacing dragons, traversing the world, flying from town to town. All of this being rendered in an open world is one of my favorite things about Bless. The fact that it's accessible without repeated loading screens is amazing. Does the game play well? I went into a slight bit of detail regarding the combat in Bless Online. There are some people that believe it is far too slow, too clunky, or too dated. They are more than welcome to believe as such because, let's be honest, people are going to have different opinions, different expectations, and different likes or dislikes. As an example, some people believe Blade & Soul has better combat than Black Desert, while some people think the exact opposite. And some people believe World of Warcraft has better combat than both. So, with regards to whether or not Bless plays well, speaking purely of the combat, in our opinion, Bless Online plays fairly well. It isn't anything groundbreaking, it isn't full action combat, it's a mixture between tab target and action, more akin to Blade & Soul than any other MMORPG. The game unfortunately does not run as good as we would like, having FPS issues without manual patches needing to be applied. Characters and NPCs move very fluid, and on top of it, you also have the addition of beautiful character models, which, if you think about, is never a bad thing. Flying, from what we've seen, is handled pretty well, although unfortunately we only have one single mount to base this off. Generally, depending on the route they plan to go with Bless, the combat will end up being great or terrible. I believe they should try for action combat if they want to improve it, but they might just view I believe they should try for action combat if they want to improve it, but they might just fix a few overshadowing concerns people have. Unfortunately, most MMORPGs released these days in the West don't have much semblance of a story. Bless seems to have one, although not all that well thought out or outstanding. There was a specific scene early on, though, that caught me very off guard. It was very adult in nature. Other than that, nothing about Bless's story is noteworthy so far. Some of you may disagree, but the fact is that Blade & Soul, a free-to-play MMORPG, has such a detailed story, and Bless speaks volumes about it. A game to compare Bless's story would probably be Revelation Online, the now dead MMORPG that was released just this year. Now, with all of this being said, there are problems people had, as I stated, with the game being rushed and the game being incomplete. I believe Neowiz are planning to show off exactly what Bless has to offer at TwitchCon this year, and I will definitely tune in to see this. Whether or not it's a minor upgrade or a complete overhaul, the fact remains that there's a chance to reignite the hype around Bless with their release of it next year through Steam. If they didn't handle it correctly and allow the hype for the game to pass over, then you can expect it to end up generally how Twilight Spirits did when it launched on Steam recently. An MMORPG many people had been looking forward to that ended up failing absolutely. It was a horrible launch. So in its current iteration, is Bless Online worth playing? Yes it is indeed. The game is unique enough, entertaining enough, and large enough to sustain our attention. Wants, and needs for a time. When they release a new and improved version of Bless at TwitchCon this year, we will be able to see the improvements made and even get a better gauge on the game. Until then, I would like to point out that the game is definitely in our crosshairs. We are definitely looking to play the game upon its eventual release, and believe you should try it out as well. Either way, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this explains Bless Online to you. And as always, good day, night, or afternoon, wherever it is where you are. And I will see you guys in the next video.
We fell out of love like shooting stars, came crashing down, and we're building back up.